Hey, Christ. What you doing?
I'm fasting, Bernie.
You know, if you were to endorse me for leader of the free world, everyone could be fasting all the time. It's true.
Believe me, I know.
Jesus, I'd like you to think about joining me. We can spread matching uniforms and crippling taxes across the world.
You mean stealing?
Democratic stealing.
So stealing.
No, democratic socialism!
I'm okay. I'm gonna go back to fasting.
What if I were to give you free health care?
Free healthcare? Really?
Yes, except you'd have to pay for it.
I'm not interested in any way, shape, or form.
Perhaps I could interest you in an assortment of dreidels! Dreidels!
Look, I've had enough. I don't want any of your
Quite
stuff.
the persnickety Jew, I see. Do you like free speech?
Very much so. It's great.
We're fresh out, but we do have some of these. I can do this all day.
I'm okay.
Wait. Endless possibilities. Camptown races do this song, doo-dah. What about free health care?
I'm gonna...
Oh, and Jesus.
Yeah, but...
One more thing. If you're truly God's son, and I'm not saying you are not, then jump down from this mountain. Surely the angels will... Oh, my leg!
Click Rumble Premium and join now for $99 annually or $9.99 a month to get the entirely ad-free experience and exclusive content from Louder with Crowder, Nick DiPaolo, Mr. Guns and Gear, Donald Trump Jr., and an ever-expanding roster of content, creators, and free speech. Glad to be with you. And that coffee is kicking in. Like, you guys all know, like I drink a certain amount of coffee in the morning, but a very small amount. And then I just had a big old mug of coffee doing run through.
Yeah.
And the problem is you don't know how much caffeine is in there. And all of a sudden I'm just like, I love you guys.
You have to go back to the bathroom, don't you?
No, I don't have to go.
It's coffee. You have to. It makes you.
He was in such a good
I
mood,
love
Gerald.
you guys.
No, coffee makes you go.
And
right?
Toolman gave me a nice little Christmas gift. It was on my desk.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
very nice of him. I didn't know if it was from him or
Another
someone.
Tim.
All right. So, a lot to get to today. Look.
The crutches from Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I see an empty whiskey tumbler by the fire. There are whiskey tumblers. Very nice. We're going to get to a lot here today. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to get to two subjects. The Wisconsin school shooting. It's happened in Madison. And then the case for homeschooling that we are going to make here. There are a lot of myths. There are a lot of misconceptions, both surrounding this shooting in Wisconsin and homeschooling. And, we always say here, hey, we're not really, we're really valueless if we're not helping you or offering solutions. And a lot of people think that homeschooling is beyond their grasp. It's not. It's closer than you think. And I certainly would wager that a lot of you are considering it right now, considering what you are seeing going on in schools. And comment below if you homeschool your kids, how it's gone. And if you don't, if you're considering it, or what you think the biggest hurdles are to overcome. We're going to discuss that. And also Syria CNN a little bit, because there's an update there. But that, and just, hey, look, Rumble Premium, none of this happens without you. 2 more days of this show, and then the big Christmas special, of course, on Thursday. And we're going to see you in the new year. If you are watching today, and at some point, especially when discussing school shootings, because no doubt there will be inappropriate jokes told, you might see this. Head on over to Rumble. It's a live show weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. You know how we could tell it was a female shooter? Because she mostly missed. I just had to get it out. I wasn't gonna be able to wait.
Should we dump
No, we shouldn't dump it. But humor is a rubber tip sword. It's a way to make a point without drawing blood. All right, it doesn't mean if you make a joke about something, it doesn't mean that you're making light of the situation.
No,
it's a way to deal with things. Captain Morgan, CEO number 2. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah, thank you. Why do you think I was a little spicy off the jump? Right?
Oh, that was you spicy? That was you spicy?
No, just a tiny bit.
Oh,
spicy.
I'd hate
You
to
want
be the
more
missus.
spicy?
That's you spicy
Look
in the
at this.
bedroom. Hey, tonight hey babe, I want to spice it up. Maybe we'll do sex completely regular.
Put your shirt
First
on.
pump is free. Maybe I'll tell a funny joke too between now and the end of the show. Hey, listen,
Maybe
Die Hard
not.
is not a Christmas movie.
No,
No.
Why would you do that?
what do you mean? What would I believe? It's what I believe. In the entire time you've known me,
I came in the spirit of Trumpa Claus,
yeah,
right?
I get it.
And you came with Die Hard is not a Christmas
Well, look,
movie.
okay, that's up. I'll give you this.
That was
It's a gray
choice.
area. It's up for
you
debate.
had 3 shirts to pick from. You chose that one.
You know what is not up for debate?
What is? Not.
I make this color look better.
You do.
All right. And when you hear this, you know him, you love him. Friday, Saturday, December 27th and 28th at the Tacoma Comedy Club, Tacoma, Washington. Mr. Josh Firestine, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
Don't let him rain on your parade.
I'm not, dude. I've had a good week so far.
Yeah.
Ready for Christmas, dude. You're not gonna rain on my parade.
Yeah.
He keeps threatening me to fire me though.
Yeah, he does.
No.
Well, guess what? I can pull rank.
Oh, nice.
I'll fire him.
Heck
I'll give
yeah.
you his job.
Oh no.
Then you'll quit.
No, I don't want
And then
to
I'll
do
just
that.
rehire you all back to your same place, and you're like,
Oh, it's better this way.
it's the art of the deal.
Make you really appreciate what you have.
Yeah. Speaking of which, here's a guy who wants to make a deal with you as to what is permissible and what is not.
Oh boy.
A lot of Islamists have not gotten the memo that, look, I respect everyone has the right to practice their own religion, worship freely.
Yep.
But we don't have to follow your rules, especially when I think they're stupid. So, here's an Islamic man letting you know, as it relates to Christmas, what is halal and what is not.
This is a reminder that celebrating Christmas is not halal, putting up a Christmas tree is not halal, wishing people a happy Christmas or a Merry Christmas is not halal, putting up red, white, and green lights or clothing or decoration is not halal.
Seeing a trend.
Attending Christmas parties
What up,
is
Crip?
also not halal. Giving people gifts or presents on Christmas is also not halal. Drinking eggnog is actually halal, unless you're doing it to imitate the non-Muslims. The reason for all of this is that the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Man tashabbaha biqawmin fahuwa minhum." That whoever imitates a people, then he is one of them. So as a Muslim, you should be confident in your religion. Be proud that you are a Muslim. Don't try to be someone that you are not.
Pubic hair beards, halal.
Apparently.
And I get it. It's their religion and halal and not halal. Of course, they don't have to celebrate Christmas. But I didn't know that wearing red and green was not halal.
I didn't know that.
Red,
that was
white
a
has to
problem.
red, green, and white.
Yeah.
You know what? You can still be a Crip though.
Yes, you can.
There you go.
You still wear blue.
I guess it's also fine to be a Latin king. You can be.
Oh, I don't know what they wear.
I think they wear gold and yellow.
I thought it was wife beaters.
Didn't
Yes,
he
yeah.
just he said that you couldn't imitate, you become like who you imitate. You just imitated like a TikTok influencer.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Also, by that logic, a trans woman is a woman. That is halal.
Yep, there you go. I don't understand the logic, but I'll go with it.
If you're imitating something, then it's halal.
Oh,
Man, baby.
no, it's not halal to imitate. It's
not halal?
It's not halal to
Not
imitate.
halal.
I don't understand it because
more
the thing
a kosher guy.
with Islam, it's like, oh, we believe that Jesus is one of our holiest prophets, except the fact that we also believe that the apostles lied and he wasn't actually, he didn't actually raise from the
swooned.
dead,
He swooned.
and they hid the body, which is almost, it's almost like that's blasphemous. So it's funny when you see those in Islam say that painting the prophet Muhammad something peace something on him that's not allowed, but the entire religion is based on something blasphemous. But here's the kicker. I'm a Christian. We're Christian. We don't care.
Yeah.
That's fine. You want to go burn a Bible? I don't care. You want to say that Jesus didn't die and raise from the dead? Oh, okay. That's fine. It's Christian version of halal, which really just means it's fine. It's not too offensive in our sewing group. Now, elsewhere in the Islamic Western world, a convicted terrorist suing a pub over a deeply offensive sign quote, is halal. Yeah, that's okay. This is the thing. It's the intellectual, the ideological terrorism that you see across the Western world. The overlay here is from the Telegraph. The person's name is Khalid Baka, is suing a pub called Saracens for an insensitive depiction of an Arab, which, of course, look, people have the right to freedom of
not
speech.
offensive.
Also,
well, hold on a
leprechaun.
second. To be fair, that's the updated one. To be fair, we do have a picture of the earlier pub in question. Okay. That would seem,
Well, that seems pretty accurate, not offensive, honestly.
Wait, by suing the pub, isn't he imitating someone and not being halal?
He's imitating a Jew.
Oh, he's also imitating Ed Sheeran, apparently.
Yes.
Or a leprechaun. Not halal.
Not halal. I was going to try and make a joke, but I don't know any Ed Sheeran songs. This guy, by the way, was
When your legs don't work like they used to before.
Is that a song?
Because you blew them up. Yeah.
Oh, okay, nice.
That's not an Ed Sheeran.
No,
it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Sounds
No,
like
it's
he was
not.
pandering.
You're lying.
This same person, by the way, was so you can't have a sign depicting Arabs in a way that is offensive or depicting Muslims in a way that is offensive. But this person who is suing was previously jailed for distributing jihadi literature.
Oh.
Just to be clear.
Oh.
Now, see, to me, that's not halal. But it's
We
just
need
a
a
matter
word.
of opinion.
We need a word. They have halal. Jews have kosher.
We don't have
We
anything.
need something, dude.
Well, the WASP equivalent is there gluten in it?
Oh, come on.
I don't know. It says gluten. I don't. Do you have celiac disease? Oh no, you're just trendy. Okay, that's right. Last year you were a vegan. Now you're carnivore. I don't want to hear anything from you.
How about chill? That's not chill.
That's not chill. Yeah, I don't know. They just make up words.
We just let you eat whatever you want.
Yeah, pretty much. We don't care.
nice
Shrimp,
about it.
it's fine. It's disgusting. It's
Oh,
fine.
you eat the poop. It's gross.
It's gross.
You don't want to devein the shrimp. Devein the best part.
No,
Now,
it's not. No, it's not.
It's actually. Remember we talked about this, or was it this week? No, it was last week.
Late last
It was
week,
late
yeah.
last week with CNN's Clarissa Ward, the Syrian prisoner, and we thought that it might have been staged. Right? We said we have to be careful because, of course, our heart goes out to this man if, in fact, he is an innessent prisoner. But then we
Doesn't look
continued
like
to
it.
dump on him for like a good 10 minutes because we didn't believe that it was genuine.
And I said, wait, maybe he was in jail for a reason.
Right? Yes. Yes. Exactly. You really
Why did we
did.
free a prisoner? I don't know.
So we might even want to switch this one to Josh, but that brings us to this week's Crowder Called It.
Come, let Zoltar tell you more.
I'm gonna hit the next pitch ball right past the flag.
We're going to win the game, I guarantee.
So CNN released this really weird video. A lot of people think this is fake, and by that I mean it's allegedly fake, and by that I mean it's clearly fake. Clarissa Ward just happened to discover a prisoner of the Assad regime. Pause. What do you stop at Burberry on the way over? That's the cleanest jacket ever.
That's a Burlington Co-Factory jacket right there.
That anyone have one of these coats? It is a magnet. It's like you're wearing a Swiffer around your neck. Guy just walked out of the LL Bean catalog, and what do they have? They have just for men. That is a perfectly trimmed beard right there. By the way, when they're in there, there's a camera. They already blew off the lock with gunfire, and they're in there.
I don't think it actually happened. You don't tell them.
They're in there
turn
with
the
a
camera off.
boom mic, with a line producer, and he's just like, no, I'm counting sheep. What do you think?
Come, let Zoltar tell you more.
I'm gonna hit the next pitch ball right past the flag.
We're going to win the game, I guarantee.
Well,
Yeah.
it looks like, maybe I mean definitely, last night Clarissa Ward posted on her X, we can confirm the real identity of the man from our story last Wednesday as Salama Mohammed Salama.
Fun name.
Salama,
Salama.
It's not very creative.
It's hard to say fast, especially if he's chucking wood. So, to give you an idea,
How much salad with salama salad?
see, you can't even say it. It's so
Yeah,
hard. How
I
much
can't.
Salama Muhammad
much salad
I
with
can't do it.
salama,
Oh, gosh, I lose.
salama.
So Salama, just to give you a little bit of context here, is a first lieutenant in the Syrian Air Force.
Oh, boy.
According to locals, he was involved in theft, extortion, coercion, trying to force residents to become informants. Also, torture on behalf of the Assad regime.
Yeah. And it looks like he was trying to rehab his image.
Yes.
He was basically he was trying to say, no, they forced me to do it. You know, I was a prisoner too. Thank God I'm free. You know, that didn't work, buddy.
Yes, I was a prisoner. Well, how many people did you torture? Give or take, a lot.
Yeah, explains why his cell was locked from the inside.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we got to shoot it off because the key is in his throat.
Couldn't you tell by the claw marks on the wall that this guy was maybe up to no good? And so she's trying to say, like, I didn't know. Well, here's the thing. Maybe she knew, maybe she didn't know. Maybe. But of course, it was completely prefab. It was fake. And again, this lady has a vested interest in taking out the Assad. I think we've been really clear, right? Assad, the regime, bad. What's coming could be worse. I don't think that this is a controversial position because some people are like, well, Assad was the only one protecting Christians. Well, and then just killed a bunch of them, and I believe it was in Lebanon. Yeah. Like, okay, it's been bad. Assad is bad. And the replacement could be worse. But that's the rule of that whole area of the world. It's halal.
Everything's halal over there.
And before we go any further, talking about the school shooting there in Madison and a lot of misinformation, Tim, you ready? You feeling good?
Yeah, I think so.
On the ball?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Well, I don't want a repeat of last week.
Yeah.
And as you can see here in this next one, we have Toolman. Roll the clip, Tim.
Yeah, shit. I think it's this. No, it's
yeah.
No, it's this one.
Wait, Tim, what's going on? You seem a little off today.
I don't know. I woke up late and I rushed in here. I'm just trying to get my bearings. Fuck! 1 second.
Okay.
Tim, what is this?
Yeah, what is?
That's
come
not
on.
it.
I don't know. What the fuck?
I don't. What is? Hey, whoa! Let's guys. Let's just come on. We're not each other's enemy. Tim, did you not have your coffee today? What's going on with?
I got an energy drink at the gas station. I guess it was caffeine free.
Great.
Why would you get a caffeine-free energy drink? Doesn't even make sense.
Because it was probably made in China, like everything else.
All right, it's not gonna help with anything. Let's have some 1775 coffee. We have a pot here. I think.
Please do it.
You have a mug right there.
Yeah.
Good.
Nobody pissed in this, right?
No,
drink
just.
All right.
You'll feel better.
That's a fucking hair in it. All right.
Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. Not me without having my coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
What was the clip you wanted me to play again?
Doesn't matter. I'm done with this segment. But 1775 coffee is good. So there's that.
That was
there you
fun,
go.
right?
Yeah. I'm glad that you're in better spirits.
Yeah.
Revolt against crappy coffee. 1775coffee.com/Crowder. Use the code Crowder for 10% off. It's fresh roasted, delivered straight to you. It's great coffee at actually a much more affordable price than a lot of the competitors. And you know what? They have the balls to sponsor this show and a lot of people on Rumble.
Yeah.
So 1775coffee.com/Crowder. Try it. Comment below. I love their pea berry blend there. I haven't had one better for a daily drinker as far as coffee. And I'm glad you're back with us, Toolman.
Yeah, it's good.
Let's go on here to the Wisconsin Madison shooting.
Yeah.
It's always terrible when you have to discuss another one of these, and I hate the fact that you need to discuss things like gun control, or people feel that it's politicized. Unfortunately, it's politicized before the bodies are even cold, right? That's what happens in today's world. So you have to push back against it. When only one side decides to politicize it and we remain silent, well, guess what? Then you end up with things like the assault weapons ban that we saw in the 90s and had no effect whatsoever. You end up with losing your rights. More importantly, this intimidation of bullying people into silence, this culture that we have. And it happens very often. It used to be more effective from the left on school shootings anytime there was a mass shooting or an act of violence. We didn't see this, by the way, when we were dealing with the murder of the United Healthcare CEO.
No calls there.
No calls there. But we see it now. They want Second Amendment advocates, gun owners, to be bullied into silence. And here's the thing. Not only should you not be bullied into silence, you do have the moral high ground. Because the defensive uses of firearms every year that take place in this country, not to mention the statistics on the law-abiding nature, the single most law-abiding, productive demographic of citizens that we know are gun owners, concealed carry permit holders, more so than off-duty officers, to be clear. You actually have the moral high ground because you, even if you never actually have to engage, are the potential hero of your community. You are not a criminal, and you know it. And I want you to remember that so that you're not intimidated. And something else, too, is when the left decides that certain shootings you won't know about and certain shootings you will know about, the agenda is dangerous, not because I just disagree with it, the gun control agenda, but because you see, for example, with Nashville, that was really kind of a crescendo after a groundswell that we have seen from the rhetoric of transgenocide, of mental health being an epidemic with young people, especially after COVID. They didn't want you to be aware of that. They want you to think white male is the mass shooter. White supremacy is our problem. That's our greatest domestic terror threat, as opposed to potentially down the line, what we could see as a massive threat to this country and Western civilization. People with no moral compass whatsoever. And if you remember Mug Club Undercover, they were the ones to uncover the first pages of the very much hidden Nashville Shooters Manifesto. We have for you today, exclusively here on Louder with Crowder, courtesy of Mug Club, first look at part of the handwritten manifesto of the Nashville shooter. Dark Abyss, Death Day, March 27th, 2023. Today is the day, yes. The day has finally come. I can't believe it's here. Don't know how I was able to get this far, but here I am. I'm a little nervous, but excited too. Been excited for these past 2 weeks. There were several times I could have been caught, especially back in the summer of 2021. None of that matters now. I'm almost an hour plus 7 minutes away. Can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm ready. I hope my victims aren't. My only fear is if anything goes wrong, I'll do my best to prevent any of the sort. God, let my wrath take over my anxiety. It might be 10 minutes tops. It might be 3 to 7. It's gonna go quick. I hope I have a high death count. Ready to die. Ha ha. Signed, Aiden. And of course, we found out that the motive there seemed to be in large part wanting to kill traditional Western Christian conservatives, patriarchy, all of that. There's a lot of misinformation, though, going around right now. And I will say this. The good news is that on X, it was able to be refuted pretty quickly. And that's why there's value in allowing more voices, because you crowdsource intelligence as opposed to having one person from the top down determining what is and what is not permissible to say, because then you end up with COVID, the Hunter Biden laptop story.
Yeah.
But it is a double-edged sword. There's been a lot of misinformation on both the left and the right regarding the shooting that had taken place yesterday in Madison, Wisconsin, at Abundant Life, a Christian school. And here, just to kind of, we have a clip, is the photo negative of the Six Flags guy.
Today, around 10:57 a.m., our officers were responding to a call of an active shooter at the Abundant Life Christian School here in Madison. When officers arrived, they found multiple victims suffering from gunshot wounds. Officers located a juvenile who they believe was responsible for this, deceased in the building. Additionally, the officers began administering life-saving efforts to anyone who was wounded and making sure that those persons were transported. What we know is that a total of about 7 persons were transported from this scene to area hospitals for treatment. We know that at least 3 people have lost their lives, including a juvenile person.
And, before we move on, it's just watching that clip, you see people basically with iPhones filming this. I remember when Andrew Breitbart would break stories back in the day, and you'd have journalists say, and this is the thing, it's just some guy some people with a cell phone, whether it's James O'Keefe or Andrew Breitbart. These aren't real journalists, and that's what we had to deal with the Nashville manifesto. These people aren't real journalists. They're using the same, it just takes a few years' time when they adopt the technology. So you are a journalist, to be clear. You are someone who can you get to the truth? Do you have a thirst for the truth? Guess what? You can be a journalist. Okay, you don't need to go to school for it. As far as what we know right now, 2 people have been killed. 1 student, teenager, 1 teacher, 6 others were shot, taken to the hospital. 2 seem to, at the moment of this broadcast, remain in critical condition. Lot of myths out there, misinformation. Yeah. So all references available, link in the description. And comment below if you believed any of this, because I had some people send me notes where they believed some of these myths that were out there, largely from the right. Here's the first myth that we need to debunk, and we'll give you all the references, is that this shooter right now is a trans individual. This took over X, the internet, within minutes of the shooting. And the reality matters here. The truth does matter, because yes, there has been a disproportionate amount of violence coming from the trans community. And we were the ones who broke the Nashville manifesto and the motive therein, or portions of it. But right now, this shooter was a 15-year-old girl, a student at this school, transferred into this school, I believe this last year, as a girl, and uses a pseudonym online, which is also feminine. There is no evidence that this person is a transgender individual. I just want to be clear about that, because the truth does matter, and you don't want to be treated as someone who is illegitimate and have your credibility blown because you decided to go along with the lie because some other people before you wanted some clicks.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, shout out to Andy No for getting the correct information.
Yes, he did.
There. I think he was the first, among the first, if not the actual very first.
Yes.
To get it out there. So it's good to get the right information out.
Thank you, Andy.
She looks like crazy Emma Watson.
Yes, she does.
Hermione Danger.
So does Emma Watson. She's looking increasingly
a little bit,
crazy Emma Watson. But thank you, Andy. Sorry, Antifa punched you in the face. You didn't deserve that. That sucked.
Milkshake, that was
terrible. Guys out there laying it on the line, and of course the left hates him. Here's another myth that you see. So this one comes from the left, is that this shooter actually not only wasn't trans, this shooter was MAGA. So this is a popular anti-Trump account. Art Candy posted this, over 1 million views, saying, "Oh, the school shooter was a 17-year-old female racist? This tracks. Another vile MAGA. Did the parents give her a gun this time too?" And this is what the left does, right? They say, oh, fascism is an ideology of the right. That's not true. They say, oh, racism is inherently MAGA. That's not true. Several false premises that are being used here, to be clear. Here's the reality, the truth. The shooter definitely not MAGA. Not trans, definitely not MAGA.
Yeah.
Here's a Discord message that this shooter reportedly had written, and it basically a radical feminist. Some people call these women femcels. It's women who actively hate men. So this comes from the shooter. It says, "Women are the only hope for this wretched world. I realize the truth. Men are irredeemable. Radfem Hitler is fucking vindicated now. They can't be redeemed," meaning men. They're a effing scourge upon the earth. The only solution is to total exterminate them and every foid who worships these effing parasites. To be clear, grammar spelling, not her strong suit.
Yeah, needed that. Some more schooling.
Yes, I would think so too. But Radfem Hitler is an anime Nazi X account that hates men. And just to be clear, I don't think that account needs to be removed. I don't want to be one of those people on the right, the Tipper Gore equivalent on the right. A lot of people don't remember it was Tipper Gore for the video game ratings, saying, "Oh, this person posts some ideology that radicalized someone. Oh, this person posts some memes, posts about their ideology, and this shooter took it, used it, warped it." I just want to be really, really clear about that. We also do have what appears to be the shooter's manifesto. It comes from the X account Slatzism, I think, from the shooter's boyfriend. Now, here's the thing. Apparently, the shooter posted this manifesto on Google Docs, but forgot to set it to public because there's nothing like perpetuating the original stereotype of an undisciplined, undetail-oriented young lady.
Retard alert!
Oh, tell the world! Missed a step. You left it private. I guess no one will hear whatever the bullshit you're spewing.
That would be important.
Yeah,
step.
you would think.
Yeah.
You would think so. Don't tell me what to do, you parasite man. I'm just telling you, you gotta set it to public. Oh, really? Patriarchy. Fine. All right, just go. So, in this reported manifesto, this shooter obviously seems like the outcast type. Like, we don't have a very clear ideology beyond a radical feminist who hates men. But this does seem to be pretty in line with what we often see, someone who's been isolated. She complains about bullying, neglectful parents, an alcoholic father, obvious disdain for organized religion, overall hatred for humanity, also some admiration for some obscure European school shooters. Yeah. I know some of you are confused. Yeah, they have those in Europe too. I know you think that's a uniquely American thing. It's not.
They said that we don't, though. They said that this is the only country.
They said this is the only country. I come from Montreal, where we had 3. Just to be clear, like we almost invented the mass shooting when you look at École Polytechnique. She also took a selfie wearing a band T-shirt of KMFDM as looking like it's an homage to the Columbine killer. So this seems to be someone who is obviously not trans individual, obviously not MAGA, hates men. Young woman who hates men. And that seems to be the motive at this point in time, unless anyone thinks it.
Frustrated at parents, hates men, dad's an alcoholic. Like, there's some stuff there,
which may or may not be true. By
right,
the way.
but that's what's being said right now, right? So I don't want to, say that that's absolutely true right now. But none of that ideology, like, you can't look at any of that list and go MAGA. And people immediately ran to trans guys. Come on,
looked like there was some suicidal stuff in there too.
Yeah.
It was like, I want to commit suicide. I want to take out as many as I can before I go.
Yeah.
And who's this boyfriend? I mean, is that an accessory to murder, or what? Like, what's?
Well, people are telling me. I think that the boyfriend only received this after the act had been committed. Yeah. As far as what I understand, but again, I'm sure there will be an investigation.
Is it an ex-boyfriend? Is it a real boyfriend? She hated men, so why was she dating somebody? Like, there's still a lot of unanswered questions on that side of it for me. So,
and if more of the political ideology is peeled back, more layers are peeled off, and it doesn't suit the left's narrative, you won't hear about it. Just like Vegas, just like Nashville, it will require crowdsourcing the intelligence here. the investigation. That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Yeah. That's why you don't trust your institutions, and rightfully so. If the shooting fits the narrative, you will hear about it everywhere. If it doesn't, they'll have some gun control stuff that they'll talk about for a while, and then it'll kind of fade, and they'll wait for the next one.
Yeah, they're already not covering it on CNN.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that tells you the way that it's probably going. That's a pretty good indicator as to the motive, or it's a good indicator as to there not being the white supremacist motive. Because
they
if that
had
was
it
the case
earlier a little bit, so we'll see how long it stays in the news cycle.
Well, here's another myth that you are seeing right now is this was on X. I think you have the overlay, and it's been circulated again. This shooting. There's a list, and it says all AR-15s, right? And some people then falsely added this current Madison shooting to it. Here's the truth. The reality, the shooter used a handgun.
Anna, what other additional information do we know about what happened?
Well, we've just learned that the suspect likely used a 9mm pistol, that was the weapon that was used.
And just to be clear, we'll get through some of the biggest gun myths, but in 2016, handguns killed about 19 times the amount of people as all rifles put together. When it comes to mass shootings, handguns are used 80% of the time. So just understand that this is going to be used there.
Yeah.
This is something that you are going to hear from the left. Look, let me give you 3 key facts here. And over Christmas, over the break, or Hanukkah, or whatever it is, Ramadan, I don't know if that's right now.
No.
Kwanzaa's not real.
No, it's real.
Kwanzaa's not real.
Maybe go and subscribe to wherever you get your audio podcast, 3 and 3. We did one on gun control, okay? We did one before, and it's important to note that there are a few key facts. You know what, let me deliver it here at the end, but it's basically where mass shootings take place, the kinds of guns used, and the defensive uses of firearms every single year, okay? We'll get through all those facts. It's about 500,000 to 3 million every single year, defensive uses of firearms.
Yeah.
Okay? Handguns are used in 80% of mass shootings, and we cover all of that in that 3 and 3, specifically on gun violence. Here's another myth that you're going to hear from the left right now. They pivot right away to, we need, this could have been stopped by gun control, so we need new forms of gun control now. Former Vice President Biden released this statement, my administration has taken aggressive action to combat the gun violence epidemic, not with his son.
No.
We passed the most significant gun safety legislation in nearly 30 years. But more is needed. Congress must pass common sense gun safety laws, universal background checks, a national red flag law, ban on assault weapons, and high capacity magazines. Okay, a couple of things. There are universal background checks. National red flag law is really one of those laws where you can report your neighbors because they take a Xanax. Ban on assault weapons. They tried it. It didn't work. It's entirely subjective. For example, this is not an assault weapon. Pistol grip makes it an assault weapon. It's stupid. It's just designed to limit your ability to own firearms. High capacity magazines. Well, they've done that in states like California. Hasn't worked. Hasn't worked. Also note there was no call for gun control after the shooting of the CEO.
I couldn't believe that, by the way, with everything that was set up there. It was in New York. What people
a city where handguns are illegal.
Guns or printing. Yeah, exactly. Like it had a silencer on it. I know they hate silencers. Like everything lined up for them to call for that.
Well, not really, because it did show that their gun laws didn't friggin' work.
No, that's true. I mean, I would say that they
no handguns. Well, here's one.
It has to be more strict. We have to just get rid of them altogether. But listen, I swore internally just a minute ago when I was reading Biden's text. Every single time that this happens, the left comes out with the same thing. We need to do stuff, and then they make a list of things that would not effing change a thing. Every single time. More control, more control, more control. That's what we want. And things that are listed are things that would not have changed this at all. Not one bit.
Yep.
I'm tired of that crap. When the right says thoughts and prayers, they mean it. They mean they're praying like I was on the way to frickin' work today for the families that don't have a kid showing up at Christmas this year.
Yep.
That's what we mean by that. When you send this out, it's like, I want to look like I'm a part of the team, that I hate guns too, just like all of you. And I want to recommend things that aren't going to change anything in American society. And I'm going to do it every single time.
Yeah.
Because I want votes.
And it's designed to vilify you. All you offer is thoughts and prayers. Well, all you offer is to disarm a citizenry and put them at greater risk of gun violence.
I'm not going to stop praying. So
yeah, is it prayer shaming now? Is that a thing? Prayer shaming? Yeah. Prayer shaming? Oh, it's useless. Really? Okay. What are you doing? Oh, calling for gun control. Okay, that's right. And by the way, none of those things would have stopped this shooting. According to the manifesto of this shooter, this person duped her father into getting the gun. Says, nobody knows I'm doing this. I got the weapons by lies and manipulation. and my father's stupidity. And again, that's a reflection of an ideology, which we see with radical feminists. Yeah. The ends justify the means. Your skill is lying and manipulating. But if you say that women are often more manipulative than men because that's how they can get things done through ulterior motives, to be clear, like men can get it done through violence, which is also wrong. Women often have to get these things done if they have motives that are less than pure. They have to use manipulation. They have to use lies. And she believes that her father is stupid because all men are stupid.
And her dad was, I heard, drunk.
That's what she says.
Yeah.
That's what she says. But she also could be manipulating the public right now by saying that to try and put the blame on her father, as opposed to the fact that she was radicalized by a bunch of other feminists who hate men out there. This is a reflection of what you are seeing in the dating sphere right now. You know, there's the red pill sphere, the manosphere, and then there's the feminist. And I don't know that it's reparable. I really don't. You're just going to see more and more young men checking out of the dating pool and not marrying, and you're going to see more and more women getting into their mid and late 30s with their biological window closing, wondering where all the good men went to. And that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing a woman who hates men. If a man were to carry out a mass shooting right now, a white male, it would be all about white males, vilifying white males. When a girl does this, they first try to vilify her as influenced by white male MAGA ideology. Also, by the way, lifting weights is white male patriarchy, as we've heard. So is the nuclear family, according to Black Lives Matter. And when that doesn't work, then it becomes, how did we fail this young woman? If you're a man, you're vilified. If you're a young woman, you're misunderstood. And you can't have one side, just like we talked about with Phillips. What was her name? Lily Phillips. Mm-hmm. People are asking for the jailing of the men who are answering a casting call. Hold on a second. There needs to be accountability on both sides. That's where we need to have accountability right here. And this is a woman who hates men, who wants to blame men and believes that they are justified in manipulating and lying to men. Why? Because all men bad. And that's misandry of the highest order. We should be discussing that. You do have an entire generation of people, especially in public schools, who have been raised to hate an entire demographic of people. And I'm not saying it's the plight of the white male. That's not what I'm saying, but here's the good news for a lot of white males out there. They can just check out. They don't need to date. They don't need to get married. You know what else they don't? They don't need to open doors. They don't need to be gentlemanly. They don't need to protect their fellow citizen. They don't need to lay their lives on the line for women who are not worth dying for. And you're going to see more of that. Is that the society that you want to live in? Because I'll tell you what, you need those guys. You need everyone. Only one group is saying, we need some people, not other people. That's the left, saying we need this oppressed class, but this class needs to admit their privilege and guilt and apologize. I'm saying we need everyone. We need white women. We need white men. We need black women, black men. We need Latino women, Latino men. We need Asian women. We need everybody. We're not excluding one demographic. This is a manifestation of someone who has been not only justified, but coached into vilifying one demographic. And that's a problem. That's a problem. Do you have any proof that white men are actually being conditioned into hating, meaning in college, in high school, through media? We're white guys here. I know it's not lost on me, just a bunch of white guys with an opinion. I don't know if you know this, but most guys in this country are white. Give me an example where we would be conditioned through our institutions to hate a group of people or to justify mistreatment of them. I'm not talking about individual sects or neo-Nazis or the Westboro Baptist Church where there's 12 members, including like 6 with flippers. I'm talking about actually institutionalized discrimination. Where's the white male equivalent of affirmative action? Mm-hmm. And let me give you some statistics. You already heard me on the one before. When we're talking about these shootings, and this is where you can go and listen to the 3 and 3 podcast. It's designed to give you 3 key facts on any topic that is referenced, so you can get it in 3 minutes or less. Okay? 94% of all mass shootings since 1950 have occurred in gun-free zones. All right? So if you think the gun laws work, 94% of mass shootings have taken place in, first off, all zones, to be clear, are mass shooting-free zones, at least supposed to be.
Supposed to be, yes.
But these are actually gun-free zones.
Almost seems like causation.
80% of these mass shootings are carried out with handguns, not with AR-15s. And according to every stat we have available to us, there are over, when people say if it saves one life, well, over 500,000 to 3 million defensive uses of firearms every single year. Yep. And I would bet disproportionately used by women or the disabled, people who need a mechanical advantage over marauding monsters. Those are 3 key facts. 94% gun-free zones, 80% handguns, not rifles, 16 times or 19 times more damage inflicted deaths at the hands of handguns than at rifles. And what was the last one?
Defensive uses.
Defensive uses, 500,000 to 3 million.
Yep.
Well, if it saves one life, well, it saves 500,000 to 3 million every year. Why don't you care about those people?
Yeah.
So we're going to be obviously staying on top of this. Again, what's sad is it'll go away if the shooter isn't of the right ideological motive, and that's why you don't trust your institutions, and I don't blame you one bit.
It sucks because we got to study this stuff.
Yeah. Well, and
there's a
look,
scientific link to things, and we need to know.
Yeah.
Even if it's the opposite way, even if it's just straight white guys are the ones who do it. Well, let's see the science about it. Let's see if we can prevent this.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Also, by the way, in case you wanted to say something?
I wanted to talk about this Discord thing because this is something that is incredibly important that came up. There was a reference to Discord with this person. This is, by the way, just remember we covered Chippewa Falls where there was a potential shooter. Second potential shooter. When we were going through the process, we had a lot of conversations behind the scenes with information that didn't necessarily all come out because we were looking into it. But this set off alarm bells for me. This is 150 miles plus or minus from Chippewa Falls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so very close. There's a possibility of a social epidemic kind of brewing in Wisconsin right now. And Discord was a common thread that I saw where people are being radicalized on Discord. Now, I'm not saying Discord is any worse than maybe any of the other sites out there. What I'm saying right now is that if you are a parent that has a child on Discord, you must absolutely 100% know what is going on. That's all social media as well. But right now, there is a very specific threat on Discord. We talked about the shooters being in a Discord channel that was kind of venerating the Columbine shooters and promoting kind of these school shootings and kind of making hype videos and all of these different things that were going on right now. And there is somebody right now radicalizing people, radicalizing young kids. We're talking about somebody who was in middle school. Right up in Chippewa Falls. This is not some high schooler that has done some research. This is somebody who was not even close to being alive when these people did this at Columbine, right? So parents out there, make sure that you understand what is happening, especially if you're a Wisconsin parent right now. Find out if your kids are on Discord. If they are, make sure that you know what's going on because they're being radicalized by somebody who is venerating these kinds of shooters.
And I will take it one step further. I will say that, Discord is an environment that is more conducive to radicalizing. Let me tell you why. You know which fan-created Discord was removed? This one.
Yeah.
Same thing on Reddit. So on Reddit, fans, and by the way, you can go and check the Discord of for this show of the Mug Club people, and same thing on Reddit. It was overwhelmingly friendly. It's not going to radicalize anybody. In other words, Discord said that this very segment right here, this kind of content is impermissible. If that is not allowed on your platform, but the kinds of dialogue that you see here, and we saw in Chippewa Falls are, do you think it creates a more dangerous echo chamber? Go to Reddit politics and just look at the gleeful celebration in the murder of the CEO in United Healthcare. Just look at the hatred that you see. And so, when they say this right here, what you are seeing right here, basic bitch, pumpkin spice, Christian conservatives, that this is radicalizing and it is removed, you now have created a silo where people can hear radical feminism, where people can hear radical gender ideology, where people can hear radical gun control advocacy, where people can hear radical socialism, Marxism, but can't hear this? You know what? We don't have the data to support it. I'm just giving you the anecdote, but I know a lot of conservatives out there who have either been removed from Discord, certainly on Reddit, and entire channels have been taken off of their server. What kind of an environment do you think you're going to create? And then you have the New York Times, I believe, where they wrote an entire article, the radicalization that takes place on YouTube. And they had an image of Philip DeFranco.
Jeez.
You may disagree with but you think that anything we say here is going to radicalize people into shooting their fellow American? Might radicalize people into protecting their family and their fellow American from those willing to do violence. This is not allowed in places like Discord. This is not allowed, by the way, also expand YouTube. This is not allowed to be monetized. The kind of stuff that did influence this young girl is. And it's advertiser friendly. And then they want to bitch about you being in an echo chamber. They want to ban Rumble, to be clear. We just got I don't know if I can talk about a tip as it relates to Rumble, but I'll need to. We have something going on there that comes straight from the government. And by the way, this is like you just mentioned, this other shooter in Chippewa Falls, right? This shooter in Chippewa Falls also showed admiration for the Columbine shooters. And keep in mind, in Chippewa Falls, the real problem, the reason we were exposing this, is there were still active threats, potentially, and parents had to pull at least one, pull their child from school because nothing was done about it.
Yeah.
So the obfuscation, right, the lack of transparency is what makes parents concerned. What do you think is more concerning, this show or take Rush Limbaugh, Fox News, for crying out loud, take Mike Lindell of My Perfect Pillow? You think that's more of a concern than school boards actively hiding information from parents? Because that's the system, and I mean our public education system that exists, and why people are going to homeschooling in record numbers. We have a clip of that Chippewa Falls story. This person continues on with a new paragraph titled Thoughts. It explains how they hate girls who objectify themselves. Redacted writes about how they are taking inspiration from the Columbine shooting. This will be the next Columbine. I will kill the most people I can by using explosives that I will make myself. All the problems that I face will be worth it after I kill all the fucking jocks and all those fucking preppy headed fucking girls who need to die, and they will go burn in hell. On the next page, this person talks about they are searching for the Dylan to their Eric, and again, who they are targeting.
Yeah.
You did a great job when you went and you spoke to the parents there.
Well, no, I appreciate it. It was a big, heavy story.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, this is.
Maybe it's a perfect time for you guys to see my latest screen test. Kind of lighten the mood.
No,
okay. Yeah, we could use a little levity for what?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a prequel from American History X. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Hey, Josh. How you doing today?
I'm Josh.
I know. That's why. Okay. You know who you're reading for?
Yes, I am reading for the lead role in the prequel to American History X.
What movie?
American History X.
Why are you saying it like that?
Because I speak English. We speak English in this country, okay, pal? It's American history.
All right, just go whenever you're ready.
Okay. Can you count me in?
Sure.
Cool.
3, 2. Wait. Why are you wearing a Tesla shirt and a MAGA hat and a blit? Oh, you're Elon Musk. Okay.
Yeah, from X. American history. X.
Please go.
No, you go. I just bought the studio, and you're fired.
No, you didn't. No, I'm not. Leave.
No, it's the
Get out.
Because Elon Musk is the character.
Go.
Doge to the moon. Woo!
It's an easy mistake to make. I understand why you.
I don't think it was a mistake.
No, just keep swinging the bat. Keep swinging the bat.
I don't know. Maybe not.
No. I think you should keep swinging the bat.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I don't know. Maybe not. By the way, if you see fraud, waste, abuse, corruption, keep in mind Nashville, Chippewa Falls, the Jay Varma story, the COVID architect, the DOJ story. A lot of those came from you working with Club Undercover. Send us a tip, lwctips@protonmail.com. We have a team of people who will chase down every lead, and we are willing to go to jail to protect our sources. Hey, maybe it can help prevent another shooting. You don't know if you help prevent a shooting at Chippewa Falls.
Yeah.
You really don't. And I hope we never do, because I hope it never happens. But
yeah, exactly.
If this is one thing, we work in this. I was just talking with someone about this morning. Look, this is a business. Of course, everyone here deserves to be able to make a living. But it's not just business. If it was just business, it wouldn't make sense to invest the millions upon millions that we do in investigative journalism every year to keep ourselves covered legally, to make sure that we can do this. And we can't do it without you. And if it was just business, we wouldn't do the Christmas special that we do every year where we try and give back and help communities so you can see where your dollar is going. It doesn't happen without your membership. Mug Club is Rumble Premium. Rumble Premium is Mug Club. You can now join louderwithcarter.com/Mug Club or click that button right there. It's a great Christmas gift. You can gift it, and now you get the promotional mug that is co-branded as a feature on the track. Rumble and Louder with Crowder mug. You get this, you get Nick DiPaolo, you get Guns and Gear, you get Dr. Disrespect, you get so much content that is being added to Rumble Premium, and it's ad-free. And of course, Mug Club Undercover, everything you see is actually funded by viewers like you. And viewers like you have some questions right now. And a lot of people are saying, hey, we're considering maybe moving to homeschooling. And I would say it's a good idea. Now, you see this debate take place a lot, and the debate is almost entirely takes place on either one or two. let's say one false premise, but we'll add in two. As far as people think kids can't be socialized, as far as people think they'll be functionally retarded because they're not out amongst their peers. When you look at the state of public school, and not just the violence today, but you look at the state of social engineering and conditioning that is taking place, I think it's something you definitely need to consider. And if you think the roadblock is you can't afford it, or if you think the roadblock is you are not qualified, we're going to go through this today. Because it has been something that's been on my heart. I know a lot of people here. Some of us have, some people here have been homeschooled. Some people here do homeschooled. If you can do it, and many of you are more capable of doing it than you realize, it can be a beautiful thing. And it is a great leg up that you can provide to your children. So homeschooling, because of COVID, has been on the rise. And even since COVID, people realized, wait a second, we can actually do this. And it's been continuing to be on the rise. That was poor grammar. No, I guess that works. COVID was on the rise, and that rise, that incline continues. Here's some kind of report about it.
If you homeschooled your children during the pandemic,
She's
you certainly
cute.
weren't alone.
Oh, yeah.
There was a massive explosion of homeschooling during that time. But with the pandemic over, many thought this boom would fizzle. And in states like Colorado, that was in fact the case. However, a new study found that 90% of states that report homeschooling enrollment found increases for the 2023 to 2024 academic year.
So
spared no expense.
3.1 million children in the United States are homeschooled, about 6% of children in the United States. I'm going to make the case here, if that number were to get to 20, 25, 30%, our country would be far better off.
Yep.
Okay? By every metric we have available to us through the metadata, we have a lot of studies, homeschooling is better than public schools. So let's go through some of the claims and some of the myths for those out there who are considering it. Here's a claim that you hear a lot, and it's to create a barrier to entry. Only the wealthy can. Well, that's great if you're wealthy and you have the ability, but most people can't afford homeschooling. Here's the truth: homeschooling is not only more affordable than you think; it's in many cases more affordable than even the basic costs attributed to public school. The annual average cost for homeschooling is $500 to $2,500 if you want to, use some of the premium services out there. There's a lot. The good thing about homeschooling is you can customize it. Hey, education. You can tailor it to your child. So $500 per year for a child. I mean, that's the books you're dealing with in school, let alone all the other supplies.
Yeah.
So you're talking about for homeschooling, this cost would be like books, curriculum supplies, field trips, tutoring, activity fees, online courses, AP exams. And to be clear, so that's not very expensive. Most homeschool families are at or are below the median income level. So 61% of homeschooling families earn less than $75,000 a year in the household.
Wow.
It is surprising.
The median income of American families is $80,000 right now.
And that's probably one income families then, right?
Yeah.
One parent staying home.
And by the way, 52% of homeschooling takes place with only one parent in the labor force. So if you're thinking you have to be a dink, dual income, we have to make this. No, it does come down to priorities. It means there will be some sacrifices, but is it worth it? This is a time where people can maybe put their money where their mouth is. Is it worth it? Hey, are you making more than $75,000 a year? Are you making more than $80,000? You absolutely can homeschool. Most people who homeschool make less than that. Those are the numbers.
That's insanely affordable too. I didn't realize it was $500 to $2,500. Even at the top end, $2,500. You're like a couple $100 a month.
Yeah.
It's definitely a lot less than private school.
And you know what else too? You don't.
Yes, for sure.
Yes, and you don't. By the way, you don't have to be only a one-income household, because here's another truth: homeschooling takes a lot less time than you think.
Yeah.
Nowadays people bemoan the gig economy. Hey, isn't it great that you could do Uber or work a part-time job that allows you the flexibility to homeschool? So you can do both. So to give you an idea, the average public school day in this country is at least 6 hours. Many places it's 8 hours.
Yeah, I was about to say that sounds low.
It does sound low. When I went to school, it was in Canada. I mean, we went to school when it was dark and we got home when it was dark.
Mine was about 7.5 hours. I think I got there when it was 8 and left about 3:30 with the last bell, if I wasn't in sports.
Ours was from 9 to 4:30, but our recess was under 10 minutes. And our time between classes was 2 minutes.
Well, but
it was 7 minutes, our recess.
Your
We had a
recess,
7 minute
it was like 4 degrees below zero outside, so you don't do much recess.
Our recess at Centennial where I went was just long enough to give you a panic attack if you had to make it to the other wing of school.
Or you had to take a dump.
Yeah, and there was traffic, and you had some crazy Latvian IT professor who would give you an after-school detention if you didn't walk into class before the bell started. I argued with him and went to the office. I got out of my after-school. I said, no, the bell wasn't over because it was boo, 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 boo. I said, so look, that last tone. Yeah.
It is a weird bell.
What is this Canadian bell stuff?
It's real. It's really absurd.
That is really weird. It's
I
8
could be
hours.
misremembering it.
8 hours for my kid. 7 to 3 is when they leave and come back.
Yeah,
Okay.
So eight hours.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
travel.
6
Yeah.
seems pretty low. Let's call it 6 to 8 hours. Homeschool hours, I mean, they vary by age. Again, you're tailoring it to children. I don't know if you know this. Young children have shorter attention spans.
No.
So pre-K kids in homeschooling can be 20 to 60 minutes, right? 20 minutes to an hour. Kindergarten can be 30 minutes to an hour and a half. First grade through the 8th grade, you're looking at 45 minutes, and then you gradually increase to about 3 hours. The 9th grade through the 12th grade, 2 hours to 4.5 hours. And here's something that's really important too. Pretty much every study that we have available to us, all references available, link in the description, especially if you are a parent, this one's really important. It shows that kids don't do well in learning environments beyond 3 or 4 hours, right? 5 to 8 years old, their attention spans are 12 to 24 minutes. 9 to 11-year-olds, 20 to 30 minutes. And even if you go all the way up to 15 to 18-year-olds, as far as, think of it as a sprint, right? Learning something new is a sprint. It's not a marathon, right? So you have to be revving that engine pretty high. When you're at 15, it's still about 48 minutes.
Jeez.
48 minutes. And we also have studies available that say kids learn best in an environment where you cap it at about 3-4 hours. Let's call it the high end, 4 hours. That tells you that public school is not designed to be optimal for learning for kids. It's designed to be a babysitter.
Yeah.
So that you can both be a dual income household and be a cog in the wheel of the machine. Do you understand that? You've been conditioned to believe this. And here's the thing, maybe you like it, but it's not a necessity. It's not. I'm telling you, it's not. Public school is not designed to be the best way, the most efficient way, or honestly, the healthiest way for your kids to learn. It's designed to allow you to work and to be a babysitter. But that comes with a lot of baggage. Not just the shootings that we're seeing, because obviously that's a very small number, but the kind of social engineering, that's probably the most common question we get. How do I prevent my child, my daughter, my son from insert the name of whatever power trip teacher here? Here's another.
Well, but think, I mean, just to buttress that point, 8 hours a day, let's call it, for what? From 5 to when you're 18 years old, essentially? Yeah. And if you start pre-K before that, I mean, the government has your kids in a lot of cases for a lot longer than you do, because factor in sleeping time, factor in homework time. What do you get your kids for? A few hours a day, maybe? And how much of that time are you trying to spend for yourself and interacting with your kids? Like, we've really screwed this whole thing up, right? Like, generally speaking. For the
so we're going through that you can't afford it. You can. That homeschooling is expensive. It's not. That it takes up too much time. It doesn't.
Right.
Let's move on down the trail. Here's the next claim. And I know a lot of you, and this is because you're a good parent. You want what's best for your children. So some of you have, presumed imposter syndrome. Right? Well, hold on a second. I don't know. I'm not qualified. I'm not good enough. Well, hold on a second. You have to compare yourself to public school teachers. Do you know what is being taught? I'm sorry, the real heroes.
Yes. Sorry.
You think that you're not more qualified to teach your child? A lot of people think, I can't homeschool. I need some kind of special certification to do so.
Because y'all need to stop encouraging people who are not prepared to homeschool their kids to homeschool their kids. There is a reason you need a degree and certification to teach kids in public schools and stuff.
Except here's the truth. Teachers didn't they didn't need certifications.
And that girl had a learning disability.
Yes, it does seem so. I knew there was something off.
And stuff.
Yeah, I'm concerned about the end stuff.
It wasn't until the mid 20th century that certifications were required coast to coast. I dated a girl in high school and college. Her mom was a second grade teacher. She didn't get her degree in education. She was a fantastic teacher. And you don't need a certification to homeschool, to be clear. So most states don't really have a requirement. Some states do have like a GED equivalent or high school, to be clear. So the barrier to entry is not anything crazy. Again, all of these things that are thrown up are designed to create barriers to entry. You can't teach. You need the real heroes of public educators to do it. You're not smart enough. You need a degree. Well, hold on a second. When performances were better in schools, teachers did not go to school to be teachers. Some of them just got an English degree. Some of them got a science degree, and they decided that they wanted to serve and teach. Here's some more proof. In New York, by the way, They always talk about class size, right? You hear this a lot. We can improve schools if we decrease class size. There have been studies in New York, for example, because New York is a great sort of petri dish where they look at some schools that were outperforming the average significantly. A lot of them were Catholic schools, or parochial schools. They had much larger class size on average. I'm going by rote. I think the average New York City class was 20-something. And in these Catholic schools, you'd have sometimes nuns with class sizes of 35, 40 or more. And the performances were better. Here's something else. A lot of these nuns would run these schools without certifications in the public indoctrination system.
Nobody wanted to be sent to the priest's office, to be fair.
That's true.
Well, it's the nuns' rulers that really were the saving grace.
I was scared of nuns as a kid because I knew two really, really mean nuns.
Yeah.
One of them beat me. Now,
well,
you probably had it coming.
I did have it.
She beat you for a reason.
She beat me because I earned it because I liked the outfit.
Oh,
come on.
Something about that black.
Here's
about Mary.
Well, I thought she could fly. Now,
you look like a penguin. There's no way.
Another claim. Tell that to Sally Field. Another claim that you'll hear, and you hear this a lot. Well, homeschool kids they're not socialized. Well, the problem is they don't get the socialization. So maybe they'll do better on standardized tests because that's not even being disputed at all. Everyone knows that. So they say, well, it's the intangibles that can't be quantified. The socialization they don't get at school. Well, here's the truth: is homeschool kids develop not only just fine, far better than kids in public schools today. So 13 out of 15 studies that were conducted, we'll make these references available. It was homeschool versus non-homeschool kids. Show that the homeschoolers were significantly more well-adjusted. Let me give you some examples here. They say, oh, these can't be quantified. They can. Homeschool kids more civically minded, meaning 71% were involved in community service, or 71% more likely, to be involved in community service, 51% more likely to attend some kind of religious service. And some of you may say, I don't like religion, but the point is these kids are actually involved in a social circle, which is a good thing considering what we see with people who are isolated. Homeschooled kids are far more likely to attend college, 74% of homeschooled kids versus 44% of public school kids.
Wow.
And the studies show that homeschool kids, when they get to college, adapt better to higher education. Hey, it might make sense because they've actually been able to tailor education to themselves and focus on their strengths, generalized education, and then foster the strengths of your child. We used to do that. It was called society.
They're not burnt out and jaded by the concept of schooling either.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly right. And anyone, look out there, comment below. Like I was a CB student, okay? I never opened a textbook. I hated it. I would wake up every day hating my life.
Mystery
at
solved.
Public school.
Never opened a textbook.
Never opened a textbook. Wait, you think you're going to be interested in Canadian history? Oh,
No.
we said uncle to the king. Great. What a wonderful founding of a nation.
Should be a short book.
Yeah. We spent an entire semester on how when there was a colony, it burned down the White House because you don't expect your friends to burn down your shit. That's all it is.
It's true.
And it was fundamentally uninteresting. I would do really well in classes that interested me, like English or like biology, things like that, physical science. And some of the classes I didn't. I learned a lot after school. I did pretty well in college my first semester when I went and I was able to choose what it was that I was studying. Second semester, I hope no one finds my transcripts. It was like a 20% overall. I was doing stand-up and I never went to class.
I was the same way. My favorite class was marketing in high school.
Really?
Marketing class. And that teacher was the best teacher I ever had, Mr. Rao. And he was a sales guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't he didn't have a teaching degree. He was a sales guy.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. I had a teacher who his name was Paul Mitchell. My senior year of high school.
Whoa, he went to cosmetology school?
I know, exactly.
You never told me that.
Nice.
And
that's why your hair looks so nice.
All of his students did some. No,
that's why you look so cute today.
Stop it.
That's why you're breaking my heart every morning.
It's because I'm wearing this shirt.
Shut.
Oh,
and he made it really clear. I remember he said, "Look, you write a journal." Because you write it every single day, you write something. Don't care what it is. Could be lyrics to your favorite song. Could be a Dear Diary entry. He said, no one's going to read it but me. Every single day, you write something. That's 10% of your grade. Then we would read a book. We would have a test on the book to see what we had retained. We would have some kind of a literary essay. Then we would have a separate essay that could be like a persuasive essay, something like that. And twice a year, we had an oral. He said, this is how you are going to be graded. Okay? Kids did so well in his class that the administration sat him down and said, your averages are too high. Kids were testing. We read Lord of the Flies. Kids tested off the charts, right? How much do you remember from this book? Kids were testing 90, like kids who were basically flunkies, testing 90%. So I remember he came to us one semester. He said, we're just sorry, your overall grade point averages they're just gonna be lower because They don't like it. They don't like it. And he was a great teacher. There are a few teachers that I really remember who were great. Miss Naidu in the 4th grade taught me long division. And I remember Mr. Mitchell. He was a great one. Miss Roberts in 7th grade was really good too. There should be more than 3 when you go from the 1st grade to the 11th in Canada. There should be more than 3. But they say, oh, kids can't be socialized well in homeschooling. Well, that would mean that you assume you're a really bad parent. You don't have activities planned for your kids. You don't have ambitions for your kids that involve community and other children. Would you rather have a public school teacher teach your child how to identify as a cat, tool man? Or learn how to smoke from your very own dad? Yeah.
Oh, that's double smoking.
Hey, he's grilling.
Cool. He's grilling.
That's a cool looking dad.
Tim took that he's grilling from that picture. Nice.
That's a double smoke.
And here's another truth. Homeschooled kids, they outperform public school kids in a lot of other ways when you're just talking about actual academics, right? Standardized exams, they do significantly better. So the average homeschooler is 15 to 25 points better on average. Black homeschoolers, 23 to 42 percentile points better. 87% of peer-reviewed studies show that homeschoolers perform better than public or even private school counterparts. They perform better socially, emotionally, psychologically, on academic performances. Now, there are some exceptions. We tried some remedial classes here in the office, and it went about as well considering this troop as you can expect.
All right, class, pay attention. Battle drill 3, react to ambush. Come on, hey, come on, guys. Let's go. No, computer, off your phone. Come on, come on, please. Please, pay attention. Somebody, pay it. You guys need this information.
Look, don't use us as an example because we're screw-ups.
Yep.
Yeah,
No.
don't come to me crying when you're getting in an ambush and you don't know what to do.
No, exactly. Look, you tried your best.
I did.
All you can do is try.
Yep.
You can lead a horse to water. You can't force it to drink.
Well, I've been teaching for 9 hours.
Ugh, well, that's
pretty burnt
they
out.
mentally tapped out. And here's something else too, people out there. I want to let you know there are more resources available for homeschooling parents than ever before. It's more affordable. You don't need to do this on your own. There are groups that exist. There are homeschool pods that exist. You also have the ability to enroll your homeschool child in all of the local public school, like the athletics programs. There are more. This is kind of the problem that we see. It's like I've said before. We have more information at our fingertips than ever, and we have people who are less informed than ever. That's the byproduct of making bad choices. Homeschooling is easier than ever. It's more accessible than ever, and you see a lot of people making excuses more than ever. And if it's not right for you, that's fine. But there are some of you where you know you maybe could do it, and it's possibly the greatest gift you could give your child, but you're choosing not to. In some instances, not all instances. I just want you to take it into consideration and think, hey, if I'm not lying to you, if you check all of those references, if there was a way to almost statistically guarantee that your child will grow up to be better adjusted, have a better mental health, better mental health outcomes. Did I say health?
Either.
That is not halal.
Better mental health outcomes, better performative outcomes academically, a stronger sense of community, for them to be a better, more well-adjusted human being to go out into the world and have a chance at success in their life. What's that worth? What is that worth to you? That's a choice that you have to make. It's not right for everybody, but I think it's right for more people than we may think. And you can do it. You can do it today more easily than ever. I mean, think about it for a second. You had people homeschooling. They didn't even have washing machines. When was the last time you saw a washboard? And you've got a robot vacuum and mop? And you can't do some pre-K for 45 minutes a day, then put your kid in wrestling practice? Come on.
True.
Did I miss anything?
No.
All right. And by the way, we're going to continue here today. I think you can click that button. Like we said, Rumble Premium, we're going to continue taking your chats. We are going to be playing actually Photoshop or Not today, Christmas edition, which of course we can never do on YouTube. But I don't know if you can hear it. I'm losing my voice. There is no way that my voice is going to maintain all the way through today and tomorrow. So if you guys are okay with it, I would like to just leave I'll still be here.
Yeah, you'll just
I'll just go to another place so I can be the Ed McMahon and lob some grenades over at you while you're hosting. It's time for a Korean fire drill.
Oh.
You're not supposed to be on your phone, even if you're in.
No, I know.
You're not.
No, it's Josh's phone.
It's Josh's phone.
Nice dick.
Wow. I love all you guys. All right.
Check on my Amazon stuff. Make sure that my packages aren't coming with Christmas presents, and my wife will see as she walks out the door.
That's right. You really screwed the pooch on that espresso machine.
I know. I bought my wife an espresso machine, and it arrived with the picture of it on the box. Right?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Whoa, whoops.
For Christmas?
Yeah,
That's a
we're
bad
not
deal.
getting anything else.
Oh, look at Gerald killing time. Gerald,
No,
just toss us to the Photoshop.
Fine, Mr. You're not in third chair. Yeah, we're going to play Photoshop or Not, the Christmas edition. Tim, why don't you give us the rules for this?
I didn't roll the stinger yet, Gerald.
Well, then roll the stinger, Tim.